Hello, everyone. Good morning. I hope you all are doing well. I wanted to take a minute today and just say hello. I haven't been live in a while, but also I wanted to share, kind of what's been going on here and an exciting book that landed on my desk today. So, this book that I am talking about today is called Asa's Medicine, and it was written by Ashley Wynn Grimes, who is a cannabis nurse. Ashley is out in Maryland. And so, I thought this was a cool book just because it's talking about a topic that I don't think anyone has really been talking about. But this is the topic is it's a story about a young boy who is in school and needs his cannabis medicine. So he's using medical cannabis in the school setting, and the nurse calls him out, or he has to be called to the nurse's office, multiple times a day to receive his medication. And being a former school nurse, I can totally understand how complicated it is. When kids have to be called to the nurse's office on a regular basis, it does kind of, create a difference between them and their other classmates. So this kind of talks about how another child bullies Asa about his medical cannabis, and kind of the stigma and the words that are used negatively talking about cannabis. And so it's a great story, one, because it really does talk about like what I witness every day. People are very naive and very ignorant to what cannabis is and isn't, and we have a lot of terms and terminology that isn't pleasant when we talk about people who use cannabis or consume. So can you imagine a child in a school setting having to use cannabis for seizures, ADHD, any other slew of conditions that cannabis can help children with? So I love the book. I'll just show you some of the pages. So you can see it definitely has some diversity in there, and it just talks about a young boy on his way to school, and then what it's like. It's his first day at a new school, actually, so that makes it even more stressful. And he's meeting new people, and he has to share with them the fact that he uses cannabis, medical cannabis. I mean, he doesn't have to share, but we know kids. I took this book, I picked it up, and I said to myself, who would tell their classmates that they're using medical cannabis? But then I'm like, oh my gosh, like my child would totally do that if, we had to use medical cannabis for her. We raise Annalise to understand that cannabis is medicine, and that, it's used for various reasons, just like Benadryl, just like aspirin, just like, Tylenol, whatever it is. So we don't really get into all the details about cannabis, but we just make sure that it's normalized in our conversations. We don't let her access other medicines, therefore she doesn't access cannabis in our home. But I thought this was just a great book and a great topic, and I'm really excited that someone stepped out and wrote this book. Again, her name is Ashley Wynn Grimes. You can pick up the book at Cannabis Nursing Solutions. I think it's LLC. I put the link in here. I am not affiliated, but Ashley is actually one of the advisory members for the Cannabis Nurses of Color. I was really excited about her launch of this book, and I also feel like, it's a conversation that needs to be had. We just don't talk about it enough. I don't think I've ever really had a conversation with anyone about medical cannabis, and how it affects kids in the school. I don't think I've really had that conversation. I do have friends who have to remove their kids from the school and take them off campus to give them their medications. I don't know anyone who's actually receiving medical cannabis in the school setting. So these are conversations that, we're still exploring and still need to continue to discuss. Ashley, who is the author, worked with Maryland to develop their policies for children that need to have medical cannabis administered in the school setting. And so it helps to kind of give a guideline and guidance for nurses who are, school nurses and need to navigate this, because the truth is nurses are not taught about cannabis in, nursing school. The first cannabis nursing textbook is coming out this month. And honestly, it's just one of those areas that we just need so much more information and conversation around. So anywho, that was my main kind of point for coming on here today. I'm actually going to make sure there's no questions. So I'm going to look over here on my screen and make sure there's no one that's chiming in, because I can't quite see everything that's happening here. And I'm going to mute this. But if you do have questions, if you want to purchase the book, if you are interested in more conversations about medical cannabis and children as patients, let me know. And I do have in our podcast, which comes out February 1st, I do have 2 nurses who will talk about pediatrics and cannabis. So look forward to having that conversation with them, because I think it's something that, again, so stigmatized, so difficult to navigate for parents. I worry about giving my child Benadryl. I can't imagine, my concerns with if I had to give her, cannabis on a regular basis or something like that. I think that would be, challenging for me as a mom, even knowing that cannabis is safe and that it has such a great safety profile. So anywho, I hope that this was helpful. I hope you guys buy the book and, get some good conversations going, because that's really what my goal is. My goal is to give you guys resources and content that you can take back to your communities and, change this narrative, change this story about cannabis, because the truth is that cannabis is medicine, and you hear me say it all the time. So I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I see a few people are chiming in here. If you're on, say hello. I can't see who's on here though. I'm trying a new method of recording, so hopefully I didn't miss any comments. But if you do have comments, go ahead and put them in. I will respond once I get off video as well. And again, make sure you guys subscribe to the podcast. It launches February 1st. A lot of these conversations will be happening in the podcast with not only Ashley, who is one of my guests for, I think she's on maybe episode 11. I'm not sure, but she's a few episodes in the season. And then I'm also talking to Vanessa Peck, who is a pediatric cannabis nurse. And she's going to talk to us about her experience, what she's seeing, and how parents are navigating this, and also, how children are really being healed and seeing so many benefits from cannabis. So again, I am going to hop off now, but thank you so much. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will be back with some more resources and content for you all. Take care. Bye.